Welcome to this video on how to configure the Filr content editor appliance. So you'll have imported your virtual appliance, you would have added the 2 disks, booted it up, typed in passwords, IP addresses and so on, and now having it finished that initial boot, we need to go in and configure it. So this, as with all the other appliances, is done on the 9443 port. So go into a browser and here type in https:// and then the address of your content editor appliance. In my case that's ce.demo.live and then :9443. So as always, we're running with a self-minted certificate, so we'll get a warning come up, so just bypass that warning. So I'll just accept the risk and continue, and we then get prompted to log in. So here the login is going to be VA admin and then the password that you set when it was booting up for the first time. So there are a number of things that we need to do at this point. So first of all, we most probably want to bring in a digital certificate. We also want to set up the online update, and then we want to go into the configuration side. Let's just go into the digital certificates, and as with the other appliances, the web appliances, we just need to change that to the web application certificates. And here I just want to import a key pair. I've got one that's been configured already, so in this case I want to bring in that one. Just type in the password, and that's actually a wildcard certificate there. And I'll also need to import any intermediary certificates that might have been delivered with that. So in this case I need to bring in that one. I'll just say OK to that, and it's prompting me to restart the appliance for those to take effect. The only other thing is I just need to make that one as active, set that as active rather than the self-signed one, and again I will need to reboot to get that to be active. So that's the certificate side done, and the certificate's important here because some clients, like the iOS client or the Mac desktop client, won't work against the content editor unless I've got a valid certificate that's running there. It won't work with the self-minted certificate. From a web browser or the Windows desktop or indeed Android, that will work fine, but the Mac and iOS clients won't. So let me just close that one down. So next we need to set up the online update, so just click on online update. I can go against a local SMT server if I'm pulling updates down centrally and distributing them from there, but more often than not you'll be using the Micro Focus Customer Center. So here I just need to put in my email address, and then the activation key. I'm just going to blur this so you don't see it in the video later on, and then just click register. This may take a while, so I'll fast forward through this in the video. And there we are. As you can see, currently this is as of April 2020. There are no updates to be applied, but if there were, I'd see them in here, and indeed then I'd want to click on update now to apply those updates. But in this instance we haven't got any, so I'll just close that down. The next thing we need to do is just configure this to work with my Filr web appliance or web appliances. So in this case I'm just going to click on the configuration, and I've only got one item in here that I need to enter, and this is allowed hosts. So here I'm just going to put in my Filr web address, which is filr.demo.live. And this is the address that my users are using to attach to the Filr system. So it isn't each individual node, it's what the users are going to be using to attach to the Filr system, because this is actually included in the URL that we use when going against the content editor. It uses that address to read in the document from the Filr environment. Next, I need to click on submit, and that will validate that and check that it actually is a Filr box that we're going against. And you can see here that it's been updated successfully. My Filr box obviously has to be running at that point for that to work. So having done that, if we just come out, and then I'll do a reboot, because if you remember, I need to do a reboot to get those certificate changes to take effect. So we'll just click on reboot and say OK. While that's rebooting, let's just go to the Filr appliance and set that up from that side, because obviously Filr needs to know about the content editor box as well as the content editor box needing to know about Filr. So in this case, I'm just going to go in to the Filr web client. This isn't the 944.3 one, this is just the standard user login. So here that's just going to be filr.demo.live. And in this case, I'm just going to log in as administrator. I could use a user who had the admin equivalent if I wanted to. And then just take the option in the top right for administration console and scroll down here, and towards the bottom of the list of options I've got the content editor here, and in this case I'm just going to enable it and then type in the server URL, which is ce.demo.live. I just do a test connection on that, and that succeeded. And then I've got options here to disable copying, so that will, if somebody's doing a copy and paste, they can't copy data out of the document to another document, they can only paste it back into the same document. So you're protecting information a bit that way. And I can also disable printing and downloading of the document there. Just bear in mind that these are global policies. They affect all the documents, not just one document that I've got there. And if you're running this against Filr 4.2, which as I'm making this video is due out in 3 or 4 weeks, you'll have an extra option here to add a watermark to the document. So that will put person's email address as a watermark on the document. So they're discouraged from doing a print screen or taking a photo of the screen there. Let's just click OK. Next thing we need to do is just check that this is working. So let's first of all use the old UI. So here I've got a document. If I come in here, right on the drop down, I've got the option here to edit online, and there's the document that I can edit quite happily. And indeed, if I do a copy, you'll see that I've only got the option to do an internal copy here. I can't copy that outside here. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful.